If you're a high-ticket business owner who's tired of chasing referrals, grinding at networking events, and wondering why your networking never seems to work, this video is for you. Over the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you the exact system one financial advisor used to generate 253 qualified leads with an 86% self-booking rate, and enough commissions in 5 months to pay for his marketing program and expenses for the next 2 years. Absolutely no phone work or cold calling whatsoever, no begging for referrals, no hoping something sticks. I'm also going to show you why most marketing efforts for financial advisors fail, and the 3 misconceptions that are keeping you stuck at the same AUM year over year. By the end of the video, you'll have a clear picture of what it actually takes to build a predictable pipeline of high net worth prospects who come to you instead of you chasing them. My name is Willem. I run Bernardus Media Agency Limited, and we specialize in building client acquisition systems specifically for financial advisors and planners in Canada. Let's get into it. Here's the reality for most advisors. You spend precious hours putting yourself in front of prospects. You network at events, you make cold calls, you ask for referrals after every meeting, day after day. And this one approach works, but it leaves hard-working advisors burnt out and stuck at the same AUM year after year. Meanwhile, the top advisors at your firm seem to have high net worth prospects flowing to them on autopilot. So what do they know that you don't know? I was speaking to a potential client the other day. She described her frustration with how she had been burnt by other marketing agencies. So I started digging, trying to find the reason. Turns out every single time she hired a firm, they weren't involved in the creative process. Cookie cutter ads, no ads optimization, no personalization, no follow-up systems built out. Leads would come in, but they would go cold. She was spending money, but seeing no return. And honestly, I wasn't surprised, because here's what most agencies don't tell you. They don't build systems for you. They rent leads to you. They produce their own leads in-house. They qualify them in-house, and then they pass them on to you. However, because the lead had shown general interest in the service, not for actually working with you, they aren't qualified because they didn't apply to talk to you. They applied to talk to somebody. And this is why it's so important to build your own system. And guess what? The moment you stop paying, everything stops. Your data is gone. Your system is gone. You're back at zero. Your pipeline disappears. So let's talk about the first big misconception that a lot of advisors have. I get all my business from referrals. It's always how I've done it. And look, I'm not going to tell you referrals are bad. Referrals, channel partners, all those channels, all those marketing efforts are great, and they allow you to get a few clients on the side without having to prospect. But this isn't predictable. You can't predict when referrals come in. You can't scale them. You can't turn them on when you need more revenue. I'll give you an example. I was speaking to an advisor recently. He had built a book of over $30 million under management, but growth had plateaued. She couldn't control when referrals came in, and she was going to all these networking events, hoping that something would stick. Meanwhile, she wanted to live a lifestyle where you can be wherever you want while having leads book on your calendar on autopilot. She told me, I'm living humbly. When my buyout runs out in a year, I'm gonna have a problem. That's the danger of relying on one channel. The advisors who scale fast don't rely on one channel. They stack them. Cold outreach, referrals, paid advertising, content. You need to build a system that you can actually control. And when you add paid ads to your mix, you create a predictable pipeline of prospects who come to you instead of you chasing them. Here's a second misconception I hear all the time. I've tried advertising before, but it didn't work for me. I'm not even gonna address this because I'll just show you the results. So one of my clients in the first 5 months, 253 qualified leads, 96 appointments. Out of those 96, 86% of them booked themselves onto his calendar with no phone work. Okay, that's the corporate life insurance client. But what about investment? For investment, I'll show you one of my client accounts where we are currently seeing the results of a cost per lead of high net worth prospects. So let's say it's anywhere from 1 million to 5 million plus of around $90. Okay, and they're booking also directly onto his calendar. So what have you closed so far, and what have the results been, and what are like your overall thoughts?
So overall, my first success, a lady signed. She had a 1.5 million AUM. So she saw my ad, something appealed to her. She clicked. We had a discovery call. She actually booked her own time slot. 1.5 million signed. Second success story was similar to that. Someone who clicked my ad had a family member working in the same company overseas, wasn't entirely sold on the current financial plan, and wanted to connect. Another example, someone sending me their statements, financial statements, before I even met them. Like before the first meeting, waking up and having a PDF of $1 million.
So it's a huge misconception that people think you can't run ads to close high net worth AUM deals. And the best part about it is this happens in your sleep. You don't have to be prospecting for this to happen. The ads prospect for you because you pay for them every single day. If you put $100 down, you'll get 2,000 people looking at your ads every single day. Right now, he's got 28 website submit applications, costing him around $100 to get a lead. He spent $2,800. This is all happening in his sleep. They message him saying, oh, I want to move my assets over. I see you're at Manulife, or I liked what you said in the video. I want to book a call into your calendar. I want to speak to you. And the reason that this works is because if you as the owner are in the video and you're also the one in the video on the landing page, and then you're the one in the call, the process is way better. If you're just being passed a lead from a lead gen agency, they just put up a cookie cutter ad, got some leads, some general leads, and passed them on to you. That's not how you actually do this. I had one client tell me he worked with 3 different agencies in 6 months. The first one promised him high net worth clients for insurance. He said it was a big fat bust and that the quality was absolute trash. Another one had told me she had tried paid ads, but the ROI was not there. She was spending to spend with no returns, so she stopped. But here's what I found. It's not that paid ads don't work for high net worth clients, and let me tell you why. If you could close just one AUM deal of, let's say, a prospect that has $500,000 or more, that's $5,000 in lifetime value if you charge 1% fee per year. So all you need to do to break even is spend $5,000 on ads just to sign one client. And if that person stays with you for 3 years, that's an LTV of $15,000. So I think a lot of people get greedy. They're not patient, which is why they seem to struggle to get high quality leads booked into their calendar. Here's 3 things that these agencies get wrong and why people feel burnt after. First of all, they don't personalize the creative. They're using cookie cutter ads without the actual person inside of them. These people have no idea who they're going to speak to. When you're talking to a baby boomer and they've opted in for some consultation, they want to know who they're going to talk to. When you advertise on Facebook and Instagram, so Meta platforms, it's a social platform. So it's better if you, as the person who's going to speak to them, is actually on that social platform directly interacting with them before they book a call. The goal is to interrupt the pattern so that people stop scrolling, so that they click on your ad, fill the form. There's a few different formats you can use. You can use your talking head format, so you literally just go like this with your phone and talk to the phone. It works. You need to adjust your pacing to your audience as well. So because you guys are dealing with an older generation, you need to be clear, direct, calm, not salesy, just calm, collected, and show your expertise. You need to be professional but not corporate. We've done a lot of research into this, and people don't like the salesy bank branch type advisor because they know that they're hunting for commissions. So you should be professional but not corporate. You need to be a trusted friend, not a bank commercial. So owner-led video ads are crushing it right now in Canada, and we're one of the only agencies that actually run them because most will just hire an actor or use cookie cutter ads to spin them up quickly and then pass leads on to the advisor. But here's a second reason why most agencies fail. It's because they don't follow up properly. Here's a question for you. When you give your email away for something, how likely are you to remember that it was yesterday? You're going to forget about it almost instantly. This is why speed to lead is everything. Contacting a lead within 5 minutes can increase your close rate by up to 391%. But most agencies don't build up follow-up systems. They hand you the lead and that's it. No SMS sequences, no email nurture, nothing. So that lead is going to go cold and you blame the ads. There's a communication gap between when the lead comes into their agency accounts and passes them on to you. By the time that happens, it's too late. You need them in your phone instantly. That's why we set up internal notifications so that you get notifications on your phone of who your lead is, what their net worth is, how much they have in RSPs, whatever questions you want to get a qualified lead, as little questions as possible to get a qualified lead. And finally, these agencies, they own your data. This is the big one. Most lead gen companies, they own everything. They own your data, strategy, assets, and the moment that you stop paying, all of that goes away. Your pipeline disappears back to zero. The difference between advisors who scale and the ones who don't are owning their own systems and willing to learn and invest into their own pipeline, their own CRM, their own ads. Renting looks like this. There's monthly fees with no end. The agency owns your data. The agency runs your CRM. The agency runs the ads. You're treated like a client number. Here's what building looks like. One setup investment, then a real partnership. You own everything from day one. Assets stay with you long term. Strategy built around your specific market. Data compounds over time. When you own the system, you own the insight. Every element becomes trackable. That hook that grabbed attention, that creative that got clicks, that question that filter out the unqualified lead, the sequence that booked the call. Over time, you're going to learn exactly what works for your market. And that data is going to compound. Your competitors are building assets right now. And 12 months from now, with the acceleration of AI, they'll know exactly what triggers the emotional urgency to switch from the current advisor to them. Meanwhile, if you're still renting leads, spending tens of thousands of dollars dollars a year, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on systems that you don't even own, you're going to get left behind. So what does it actually take to build a client acquisition system that works and something that compounds over time? Let me walk you through the exact 5-step process. So first of all, you need deep market research. Before any marketing moves are made, you need diligent research to stand out in today's market. You're competing with every other financial advisor in your area, but what makes people actually choose one? What are the pain points, internal desires, goals of your prospect? Why should they choose you? Is there something specific about you that we can talk about? Is there a mechanism inside of your offer that we can talk about? Do you have lower fees? Why should someone go with you? And how do we create a compelling message that we can put out into the marketplace and make people feel like we're speaking to them one-on-one? What we'll do is we'll go into threads online where people are hanging out, and we're going to scrape those threads and find all those pain points. So let's say we go on LinkedIn, Reddit, X, Twitter to find these people. We're going to scrape them and put them into AI to help build a psychographic profile of your ideal avatar. And we're going to turn this into advertising scripts. So once we have that data, we can make a compelling script for video that we can put on camera. We'll even send a videographer over to your office, your house, or ideal filming location to help you film this stuff. And we'll edit the videos for you, the first batch. The videos that you get are 5 ad style videos. So that'll be anywhere from 30 seconds to a few minutes long. And then you'll also get a long form video like what you're watching right now to really demonstrate your expertise and get people to go from being kind of interested, like let's say it's a lead, versus super interested, let's book a call, let's go now. From there, we'll set up your ad campaign. So you're going to give us access to your Meta Ads account. And if you don't have one, don't worry, we'll create one. We are going to run your ads, but we are not just going to run them. We are going to run your account, and we're going to see what ads are working, what's not working, how can we iterate what's working, and how can we get a lower cost per lead, lower cost per appointment, better clicks, better conversions month over month. And how do we track this? We do this with monthly reporting. So we can actually generate monthly reports that we send directly to you so that you can learn more about how your performance is actually going. But what about the follow-up? Where does the lead go once it comes in? I'll tell you exactly what happens. Once a lead opts in, you're going to get an internal notification on your phone that says something like, new lead, John from XYZ. Here's his email, here's his phone, here's his assets, here's RSPs, does he have any debt, etc. You should be calling that lead straight away. The faster you call them, the better. And from there, whether they pick up or not, they're likely already maybe looking at your calendar to see if they want to book, or they're watching a video like this, and they probably will book themselves. But if not, the system that we've installed with Go Ahead Level CRM follows up with them for 7 days. So you have SMS and email sequences with nurturing messaging inside. So what does that look like? They get a free PDF, which helps them learn more about their current situation. They get YouTube videos that maybe you've filmed in their inbox as well. And we like to use something called soap opera sequences. So what is a soap opera sequence? It's when one email leads to the next. So you make one email about RRSPs, and then you say, tomorrow I'm going to talk about how you can extract tax from your corporate account because you're getting double tax when you pull out your earnings, something like that. So you lead to the next email every single day. We set that up for you as well. We have multiple sequences that we can set up, which you can use to start your ad campaign. Now, let's say somebody books a call. That's another sequence. We have to put them from the normal sequence into a book a call sequence. So how do we do this? Inside of the CRM, it's going to automatically recognize when someone books a call and move them to that stage. So we're going to connect your calendars, whether it's Calendly, Microsoft, Google. We connect it. We also connect your video conferencing. So whether you use Google Meet, Teams, or whatever you use. So usually when our clients start, we start with 3 to 5 ads at $40 spend per day, but the more you spend, the better. I'd say $100 is better, right? The cost per lead for high net worth prospects is around $100 because when you're managing people's money, it's kind of a sensitive topic. People don't necessarily want to switch right away. So it tends to be higher. For corporate life insurance, it's a lot lower. It's like in the 20s for your cost per lead. But let me show you what this looks like in practice. So one of our clients, Henry's a financial advisor at BC. Before working with us, he was going to networking events, doing cold outreach, spending all his day prospecting. Now he just sits on his phone and waits for leads to come in. So here's what happens for him. He got 253 qualified leads, 96 total appointments booked. Out of those 96, 83 booked himself. So that's an 86% self-booking rate. So only 13 out of those required manual follow-up. That's crazy, right? Because he had to do no phone work for this, and he has people booking onto his calendar with substantial retained earnings. But now, what was the ROI? Within a few months, he had closed several high commission corporate life insurance deals, and over the next 5 months, he had made enough money from the system to enroll himself for an additional 2 years. Here's what he had to say about the program. What have you closed in the past while?
In total, it would be about 3 cases.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be about 3 cases in total. Yeah, I mean, there's some of them are one of them are pretty good so far. So, and just working on the other leads.
What are the size of the cases?
They could vary. Like for us, the comps could be 10,000. It could be 5,000. These ones here are closer to like 15,000.
And the best part, everything is his. He owns all his assets. The landing pages, the sequences, the account, he owns all of it. So even if he decided to part ways with me, which there's no reason for him to, because I still help him generate campaigns, strategize for new campaigns, write scripts, film videos. If he left, he would still have all of his assets, which is the most important part. So here's my question for you. Are you tired of chasing referrals? Are you tired of paying agencies that own your data? And how urgent is it for you to build a system like this for yourself? If it's urgent for you to actually start getting your own qualified leads in the door with your own system and to build up your own database of stuff, click the button below the video if you are on my landing page. If you are on my YouTube video, click the link in the description. You can book a free strategy call with me. On the call, we'll talk about your practice, your goals, and whether the system actually makes sense for you. I'm not going to say that there won't be a sales pitch, because there will be a sales pitch, but once you see the numbers, there's no reason for you not to take up something like this. You could see it as a friendly one-on-one chat about business. If it's a fit, I'll show you exactly how we can implement this into your business specifically. Either way, you're going to walk away with a predictable, clear picture of what this could look like for your business and what's out there. So click the button below and I'll see you on the other side.